Good. This way. Let's see if I can get this going. All right. Then I will call the meeting to order and welcome members and members of the public. Let's see, we don't have any alternates, so there will, we don't need to appoint any alternates this evening.
Okay.
So first thing on the agenda is the review of minutes. Thanks, Earl, for putting them out. And if everybody's had a chance to review them, I will look for a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to accept the minutes from the last meeting as written.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor,
Aye.
I
opposed, abstaining, motion carried. Correspondence. I have correspondence with Susan Sherman and Dave regarding the new sign for the Evangelical Church, and also correspondence with Jay Swan, first selectman, regarding another a property on Route 169.
That was with Jay Sherman.
No, Susan Sherman
Okay.
for the regarding the Evangelical Church's new
Yep.
sign, and then Jay Swan, who's the
Swan.
first selectman.
Yep.
Public comment. Mona, did you have something?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Paul and I have something to say.
We know that we've had some informal discussion actually with you, Gail, in regards to the property behind, I believe it's, what is it, 606? 606 Route 169. We have spoken with Jay about this as well. We all just kind of thought it was the more people that are aware of the situation, the hope that we get something accomplished here. The idea of the fact that this evolving campground behind me is certainly not going away. There's a second camper that showed up over the winter. We don't know if that's permanent or going to be in storage. The other one is permanent. It's been here for several years now.
4 years.
And we have absolutely complete disregard for any kind of permitting or whether they're in the historic district or not. These folks just continue to evolve to the point where we have a shed that was built last fall. We have new fencing that's going up. We have a pool that shows up in the summer, an above ground pool. So again, I'm just trying to appease to everybody and say, this really doesn't belong here.
And I don't think anyone in the historic district would want this in their backyard. Granted, it's not visible from 169, but the minute you come down. Old
Anyone
Hall
driving up and
Road
down Old Hall Road is going to see
is
this
gonna
fiasco.
see it. And we did have Jay Swan come over because I know that he's in, because we've appealed to you, we've appealed to zoning. They just keep saying that it's Jay's issue. So we did host Jay at the house a couple weeks ago. He agreed this is just a mess. And I guess that's, I don't think anybody in the historic district would want this in their backyard. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And that's our main concern, is how far is this gonna go?
So we appreciate you bringing this, continuing to bring this up.
Mhm.
And this is what I had communication with Jay with, must be after he spoke with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Then he emailed me and everybody. I'm going to share my screen to show, this is the photograph that Jay evidently took to show what
We
Paul,
see.
yes, Paul and Ramona and Mona are talking about in terms of what is evolving on that property at 606. And we have discussed it previously. You brought it up and we discussed it. I said to Jay that I felt that we needed first to hear from planning and zoning whether or not the parking a trailer permanently whether that was something that they had jurisdiction over. You know, that if they said right away that you need a special permit or it's not allowed or whatever, then that takes care of a good part of that right away. If they don't have any particular ordinance about that or process, then and if the town doesn't have a particular ordinance or process, then it defaults to, you know, it falls down to us. I mean, ultimately, even if the planning and zoning said it was all right, it still is a district issue, and we still will have to take it up sometime over the next few months. So but we also needed, as I said to Jay, we need to know what the town stance on this is, so that we have a sense of how we can go forward.
And Gail, I've already been through all of that with the town over and over again. And the zoning people told me that this is a selectman issue,
Okay,
that he has to take care of this. And
Jay
that-
has somewhat accepted this issue with the trailer in particular. And I may not be 100% clear on this, but it appears that the understanding I have regarding the trailer is a trailer is acceptable only on a temporary basis. This is no longer considered temporary.
Right.
This has been here for years.
yeah.
So,
And it's really the same in the district,
Yep.
just in terms of our regulation, our
yeah.
parameters. That,
What you can't see on this, in this particular picture, is behind the white trailer. There is
over
a second
here.
trailer behind that,
Yes,
that arrived. I don't remember the exact date, of course,
the
but
fall.
it arrived in this past fall. So again, we don't know if that's staying or going. It may be just there for storage.
And these posts that you see, that's a new
This is
that's in
actually a picture that I
progress.
took and sent to Jay.
Mhm.
And you can see the new shed that was built last fall. There's also some fencing that went up behind, because if you didn't see the trailer, you would see the back of Rondo's garage.
Mhm.
So he put up some fencing over there. There's also a gate. He also has a dusk to dawn spotlight back there that's on every night. Again, I could go on and on with everything that's there. You'll see some rolls of
Yes.
what you just put your arrow on.
Yeah,
That's some sort of metal fencing. And these posts that are currently being put in, there,
We don't know.
we actually went over, Mona went over and questioned, and they was stated that they were putting in a garden. So that, hence I believe that's what the fencing may be for.
right. And what about this piece?
That is,
That gets to
that
be
gets a
tent.
canopy.
That's a
That
tent.
gets to be a canopy during the summer months. It gets a cover on it. And then they have you're gonna laugh at this one. They keep in the shed a large screen TV, and they bring the TV out and they watch on the weekends, they watch
TV,
football games or
games.
whatever.
But you can also see that there's a cement pad that was poured under there.
Yeah, the trailer
Permanently.
itself is on a cement pad. Again, it's not temporary.
Right.
This was never intended to be temporary. So, but
And then this is
A permanent deck.
yeah, there's a decking with a there's a deck up there with a petition, whatever, and there's a gas grill. They have since, I saw an excavator there last summer. I believe, to the best of my knowledge, they have run water, and the owner of the property is an electrician by trade. So they've run power down here. They have, they have a power source. They have electricity, and I think they may even have water too.
So let's see if I can move mine down here. All right. So hold on, let me get rid of. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I can move here. So this black, is this a
I think that's just you know what you're seeing, Gail? That's actually a branch.
Oh, it's the
from
branch.
Where I
Oh.
took the photo.
all right, that's good. To some extent, it looks like it's coming right from the trailer.
Yeah.
But it's not. All right. Okay.
In the summertime, they even put chairs up on top of the camper like they're at a NASCAR race. And they sit up on top of the camper in their lawn chairs.
But, you know, we can't dictate what they do in the backyard, and that's not what we're trying to squash. We're not, you know, trying to squash what they do in the backyard. It's just the permanency of these things without permits. Just do what you're supposed to do when you're in the district. And I don't think anyone's ever told them that they have to do what they have to do.
Well, yeah. So this is, let's see, so we've got a shed with a.
Yeah,
metal-
that's the new shed that went up. There's another lean-to off the other side of it. That was constructed last fall.
And that cage, that frame is in front of the shed?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and they put a canopy up over the top and there's lights underneath it. And
It's like a tent.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
All right, and this is the decking here.
Yeah, you
that-
can see they built a deck.
With a
And they have a
foundation,
fire pit.
right, so they've got kind of a rubble foundation and then
Yep.
they've got the deck.
Yep.
and they must put the pool on one side of it?
The
Is that
pool
what
goes
it is?
off towards the side where the shed is.
Oh, okay.
Over
Yeah,
here.
right in there.
Yeah, it goes right in that area. Exactly, Gail.
And it's one of those above.
I'm assuming, yeah, it's an above ground pool, but it's a big enough pool. There's several people in it, you know, at one time. It's not a little kiddie pool, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, so there's more posts over here.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna string that garden per se all the way down to this section where you see that last post,
Mhm.
which is actually approaching the stone wall to my property.
Okay. Commission members, some questions about this?
What has Jay said about this, Gail?
He said that you do have to have a permit, and the permit would have to go through him, and that he would work on this and let us know. And that was 2 weeks ago on a Monday when we had him here for coffee to try to show this to him. He came, he said that, yes, this is definitely not, shouldn't be going on. I called him on Monday. He suggested that we come on and bring it to your attention. And I asked him if he had done anything in the 2 weeks that
Right.
he had spoken, and he hadn't, which was a little disheartening. But
Mhm.
then, so that's where we are with this.
Mona, did he say whether what the permit was for? Was it just for
Was for the temporary use of a trailer for whatever reason you were using the trailer for. If you were building a property, you know, using it for when you were building on your property. And I think it was only for 6 months. After that, you would have to have the permit reissued to you. And I think that's the only reason that you can have a trailer on your property, unless I don't know if Harold ever did this, but I know that the Arvidssons used to have trailers when they would have people to come pick apples or raspberries. They would have workers and keep them in the trailers.
But that was only temporary.
But that was temporary again, and then the trailers would have to disappear, and then they would bring them back for the workers. They couldn't stay on the properties.
How long has that camper been there, if you know?
Almost 4 years.
4 years.
And we brought it, you know, we keep, anyways.
My only comment is this is an RV rather than a house trailer, so.
Yeah,
if
they
that
consider
makes
this
any
a
bearing
travel.
on it.
They would consider that what they call a travel trailer. So you have to hook up a fifth wheel to that to move it around.
Right.
All right, I said, Jay emailed me I read it yesterday, so either you emailed me Monday or yesterday with it. But he didn't provide any information about the status. I'll connect back with him
Sure.
because,
Okay.
and to just to, so that we're up to date on exactly where it sits with the selectmen, the selectman's office. And then we'll have to get in touch with the owners who live in Woodstock, just to update
Yeah.
them and let them know.
The status of the owner is the apartment house at that address.
606.
He owns the apartment house, but he doesn't live there. He lives down on
Ridgewood.
Ridgewood.
Mhm.
He has a
Um,
property on Ridgewood.
So my understanding is that he has children, his kids or whatever. One of them or more than one live in the apartment house. So they're the ones who it's the kids who spend all the time back here at the camper.
He lives on 20 Ridgewood Drive, which is a dead end. He has 3 acres at a dead end road.
Right.
Of course, that's my theory. Take the camper and all the things to go with it and put it on your 3 acres over there.
But they will, I think, commission members, that we will have to, we will have to get in touch with the owner to let him know that he needs to come before us with an application.
Right. And Jay needs to get back to us too.
Jay needs to
Right.
get, yep. I need to speak with Jay and then convey all that information to all of you. And then we need to contact the homeowner about the shed. At a minimum, it certainly is the shed and the concrete pad potentially. And the decking with its railings. So there are a number of issues outside of just the trailer that we need to
Right.
contact them about.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The trailer, will it ever pass to stay?
Well, if it's,
At this, we can't make, it's not appropriate to make,
Okay, I understand.
to speculate on
Okay,
a public hearing.
okay, all
So
right.
what we really need to understand, we need to convey to the homeowners what's allowable and also what's allowable. And then Jay needs to convey to them also what's allowable on the town from
Okay.
the town.
Okay, I understand. Okay,
And,
thank you.
and we have to deal specifically with some of the other issues about what's happening with that property as well.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank you.
I just verify the address of that property. Is it 606?
606.
606.
All right.
It's
Oh,
on,
no.
it's on the south side of Rondo's, correct?
It's
Yes.
between Rondo's and the old post office.
Yep.
Yes.
That
Thank
view
you.
that view that was shown, that's from Old Hall Road?
Yes.
Okay.
no, that view is actually from my backyard.
You can see it though.
But you can still see it from, actually, if you ask, Gail, if you talk to Jay, when he was here a couple of weeks ago, I know that he took some photos himself. That photo is a photo that I forwarded to him just within the past couple of days. But Jay took several photos and he did take some directly from from Old Hall Road. So
Yeah, I'll
he-
take.
he's got several views of it.
And I'll
Okay.
take some when I'm up on the hill on Monday. I go past it at least once a week and take a look
Sure.
over there to see it.
Yep.
And my assessment it is visible, it is not obscured by the, the scrub that grows up
Yeah.
for at least 2/3 of the year. It's visible
Oh,
from the
yeah.
road
Absolutely.
for at least 2/3 of the year.
Sure.
And if you know it's there and you look, even with all the bushes leafed out, you can still at least see the trailer.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you for continuing
Thank
with
you.
this. I know it must be frustrating.
Yes,
We've all
Yeah.
experienced when when something happens on an adjacent property and then so
but we
you know,
try to
I-
keep our property up and
I-
it's hard.
well, and we respect, everybody respects neighbors and
Yes,
people, like you said, people enjoying their backyard, but they do live within the historic district, so it's important that we all collaborate together.
thank you.
When we first moved here over 25 years ago, there were cows in that pasture, so I like that much better.
Well, thank you very much for bringing it to our attention, and we will.
Thanks for hearing us.
We'll keep you apprised.
Thank you.
of
Thanks
what's
for
going
doing a
on.
great job, everyone. Thank you.
I know.
All right. Project consultations, Susan and David. All you need to do is unmute yourselves.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Yes,
you
we
hear
can.
us? Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting us meet with you tonight. This is meeting on Zoom is something we haven't done before, so please understand that. Also, Gail, thank you for your emailing back and forth to Susan. That's been a big help.
Yeah.
We proposed 3 new signs for the Woodstock Evangelical Covenant Church. The main sign would replace the sign that is on the lawn in front of the original Child Hill Road entrance. The present sign is fading and falling apart. Number 1, the new sign will say only the name of the church and the church website. Number 2, the sign will be positioned the same as the present sign. 3, it will be lighted from below. 4, we are intending for the sign to have a clean, classic look with more than likely a white field and black letters. 5, the material will be 1-inch thick PVC, and the sign will be supported by 4x4 posts with white PVC sleeves. 6, we are working with Graphics Unlimited in Putnam, and this is a company that has done many of the signs in town, including the Woodstock Academy signs. 7, the present sign measures 83 inches by 41 inches, and that's just the sign, that's not the posts. That is 3,403 square inches. The new sign will be smaller, measuring 72 inches by 36 inches, which is 2,592 square inches. And that is actually 6 feet by 3 feet. The height may vary slightly depending on the font and size of the letters.
We should stop.
Are there any, I have some sketches to show you. Although we've been working with Graphics Unlimited, what I'm showing you is just sketches that we have done. Is that, would you like to see those?
Yes.
I would. I'd like to see it.
Okay, I don't know if this will show up. Oh, boy,
It doesn't show up.
that doesn't show up.
No.
Okay, let me try something else. Does this show up?
That's
That's
better. Yep.
Okay, that's the font we have in mind. You know, kind of a classic, a clean font. And that's the wording and the positioning of the words that we have in mind as well. Okay,
I think if we can afford it, we'd like to do the carved letters. where they,
Mhm.
you know, which really I think is a classic look. And the style we're thinking about just rectangular with a little bit of trim, maybe inside. I mean, nothing wild and crazy, no logo, nothing. So
Now I'll just show you a few different sketches that we have in mind. There, that's one.
Mhm.
This is actually, we have to see what,
yeah.
Okay.
that's it.
Now,
Uh, where
is
that would be cut out.
okay, okay.
Okay.
This is my favorite.
Okay,
Would that also be cut out or is that just engraved?
now that's just a border.
Yeah,
So
just the
that's-
inside border, just,
Okay, then,
so. I think we
yeah,
should-
do you have any questions about that sign?
I mean, is there any thing would need to change or adapt?
I have one question concerning the lighting. Is the current sign, what kind of lighting does the current sign have?
Well, it's not being lit at all right now, but there is a light bulb that comes down over the top and it's ugly
Bad.
and it,
Oh, it looks bad.
and we're not gonna do anything like that.
So you're proposing the current one will be lit from below.
Yeah,
Will
under,
The new one would be lit from below.
Right. So it's a separate fixture in the ground, or that's something that's attached to the bottom of the sign?
Well, we haven't really worked it out, but I'm thinking probably from the ground.
Okay, so you just something to pay attention to is even though it's probably going to be a relatively low light, we've got this Dark Skies initiative that's part of the Last Green Valley. And so uplighting is discouraged. So if your light is tilted so that it's only shining on the sign,
Mhm.
then that's acceptable. But if it also illuminates upwards into the air overhead, into the sky overhead, then that's not acceptable.
Okay. I would think if it were to go beyond the sign, it would probably be shining on the church, but I think trying to keep it right on the sign would certainly be the best.
Right. And-
I mean, to have it on the church would end up, there'd be a shadow from the sign, so that wouldn't look good.
yeah.
And you
and
should know that if you're in your planning, you end up wanting to do an installation of a lighting device on a post or whatever in front of the sign that then shines onto the sign, then you'll need all of those specifications in the application. I think that we generally tend to approve signs lighting where it's discrete lighting
Mhm.
that is either downward lighting onto the sign itself, or very discrete lighting that shines at an angle onto the sign.
Okay. Well, also, we thought it would be on a timer. It wouldn't run all night. So, right?
Yeah, so if it is actually from the ground,
Mhm.
do we need to specify all of that too in the application?
Yeah, we'll need to know everything. We'll need to know what it looks like. And no matter what kind of sign of lighting you have, we'll need to have a photograph of the proposed fixture.
Mhm.
And if it's something that's a separate installation in the ground, then at what height, what kind of post, all the details of that. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, then the second sign would replace the hanging directional sign that's on the Woodstock Common on the corner of Route 169 and Child Hill Road. And number one, the sign would have the same information and appearance as the main sign, with the addition of an arrow. We might leave off the website. We haven't really decided that yet. Number 2, the post would remain the same. And 3, the present sign measures 36 inches by 22 inches. We would like to work with the same dimensions.
Do you have a sketch of that sign that you are going to be using, do you think?
Actually, I don't.
Okay, okay,
I mean, because the look of the sign would be just like the other sketches you saw. It's just that
Okay.
it would be smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
okay.
That would be PVC as well.
Yes. Yeah. Which seems to be a great material. The signs that I've seen in town that are made of PVC are, weathering well and standing up
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it wouldn't be carved. It would just be printed on.
Mhm.
On that sign, yeah,
Yeah.
the one on the common.
I mean, we don't know if we can afford the carved sign, but we're gonna try. So,
And your third sign?
The third sign, and I don't know if you even care about this one, the third sign would be located on the back wall of the church. It would not be seen from Child Hill Road or Route 169.
Then you're right. It's,
yeah,
Okay,
okay.
Who will see that one?
well, people parking will see it.
Yeah, 'cause
because
that's where all the parking is, yeah.
That's the side that really has the main entrance now.
Okay, yeah.
And there hasn't been a sign there until now, so
Yeah, never.
it needs to be there.
So in terms of the two signs, the fact that they are going to be either of equal size or smaller. And it's really great that the big sign is going to be smaller. Those are two good points for the signs. And you're not making any major changes really, other than a little bit of materials, but in signs, that's certainly not anything that requires a significant amount of discussion. They're in the same positions. The big issue probably is going to be how it's going to be illuminated. And that's about it, but it seems like you're putting a lot of thought into the designs.
Yeah,
We're trying to.
yeah. So I have a question. If we end up not lighting from the ground and on the sign, you would still,
Every piece, everything that has to do with the sign. Yes, yeah.
okay,
It'd be the same as if you were putting a new light on a new light over a door. We'd
Mm.
need to see the fixture
mhm,
and that. So yes,
okay.
same thing. Yeah, Stan.
Well, when we had our initial talk on graphics, we really didn't talk about the type of lighting. We just kind of assumed we could do it from the ground up, but we really didn't talk to them about options, so.
They probably wouldn't be involved. It would be our trustees, the church trustees that would work with that.
What we're trying to avoid is, a big floodlight
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
gonna.
no, we
run-
would want it to be very discreet and, yeah.
And you might check into, I don't know, I can look into it and see if there is, because I don't recall if there's now a lumens.
Limited.
Yeah, limitations. I know we certainly worked with that with the Woodstock Academy and some lighting fixtures along sidewalks that they were looking at.
Hmm.
So,
Is the Woodstock Academy sign illuminated? I haven't noticed, haven't gone by it, guess at night.
well, the whole campus is lighted.
Yeah,
Yes, probably it was, I can't remember that particular application, but no doubt it was. And I mean, we were part of we had to approve the sort of street lights that are there, that all parts of that. So,
Hmm.
yes.
I'll have to take notice of their sign.
Oh,
Stan,
I would hope that you could consider a light above the sign. I realize that bare bulb is pretty ugly, but I'm sure that lighting has gone crazy with LEDs and everything. And I would think there'd be something available, maybe a long strip with a hood over it that would be tasteful looking. Maybe you could just look into something like that.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Sure.
and I know that when we were working with the Academy on their lighting, there are bulbs now, LED bulbs now that have, bulb itself has a diffuser shade in it that helps, that directs the light. So that, you know, the old fashioned light bulb, you had an aura around it, but this, it creates basically like task lighting, but it gives you a field of light.
Mhm.
And so I think there are a lot more possibilities to put small but yet good lights in that do not significantly detract from what you're trying to light, but then get the lighting, get the illumination exactly where you want it. And
Right.
they are hooded above, so they have a shade over top to prevent light seepage going up above.
Mhm.
And really, they are very much task oriented. They are very specific in terms of the area where they cast the light.
Mhm.
Mm.
And
Do you have an electrician in the church as a member?
no,
No.
not a licensed electrician,
I
but
don't know if you're familiar with this electrical wholesalers. It's across from Archambault, kind of across from Bill's Bread and Breakfast.
yeah,
There's the driveway kind of goes down.
it
It's
goes
a
down.
white
Oh,
building.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
Uh-huh.
And they would, well, they're not like a box store. They would have all kind of catalogs. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good. And the fact that the sign is going to be 6 feet wide, that's probably a dimension that where a fixture would be available. It's not like we have some odd dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to gang two of them together or something, but
Or it might be something that comes just they're very small yet powerful. So there might be something off each post that then with a focal
Shine
point.
toward the center, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, that's all helpful.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't work, but what if we tried solar? That probably wouldn't work, would it?
It very well did. The church I live out here in West Woodstock, and the Congregational Church here in West Woodstock uses strictly solar. They have, it's attached to the top of their sign, and it's a solar light to illuminate it. And it's the new solar panels are so good now that you don't need even in an overcast day, they still charge as long as it's light out.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Could you still put it on a timer though? I wonder. You
sure.
wouldn't want it running all night.
no, these are on time, and this one's on a timer as
Oh,
well.
okay. Well, that
Yeah,
might be good.
So, yeah, but I'd encourage you to look at that. It's going to save you money in the long run.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, with the price of electricity.
Well, thank you very much.
But it sounds like you're really giving some very careful thought to the design, and we appreciate that. And we also thank you for coming in for a consultation.
Yeah, now the next step, what would be the next step?
The next step is if you've got a final design and you've got all the pieces of that ready, then let me look at my calendar. Then you submit an an application for a certificate of appropriateness, and it goes to the building official who date stamps it and gets it to me, and we schedule the public hearing for it. So our next meeting is April 20, would be April 27th. I need the, let's see, the announcement would come out the 22nd, which means, and Good Friday's the 15th. So I would need to know, your application would need to be submitted to the building official for date stamp no later than April 14th.
Okay. So when we do that, we have to have our final plan to present and to show. Is that correct?
For the public hearing, yes.
Okay,
Yeah. So if by the 14th you don't have your final plan, but you know you'll have it by the 27th, you can submit your application and then present the final plan to us on the 27th, and then you'll once, if we approve it, you'll submit it all to the building official.
And if we're not ready by
Then you-
April, then it
then-
can go into May.
It can, yes, we tentatively have scheduled meetings every fourth Wednesday of every month this year.
Okay.
so what's the purpose of the public hearing? I mean, just for let people know, I mean, are you all likely to turn it down when it gets to that stage or not?
That is the, well, if we speak in a general sense about an application, a public hearing is the official commission review
Oh,
of your application.
okay,
And we have 60 days basically we have 2 meetings to either approve it or deny it. By ordinance, we hold a public hearing to allow for every single application, to allow members of the public to come in and provide comment
mhm,
on it, should they feel like they want to comment on it.
mhm.
And if we feel that we aren't able to reach a determination on the first of the public hearings, then we continue that until the next month.
Mhm.
If by then we still haven't reached, and we may send you back with, again, we're talking generally, we might send you back to do some refinements or sometimes people come and they just don't have the information,
Mhm.
sufficient information for us to make a determination. Then if when you appear for the second time, we still don't feel like we either have enough information or there are still problems with whatever the plan or design are, because we must make a decision, we deny the application, but then you can reapply for the next month. The
Okay.
denial is merely, that's a formality. We must render some kind of decision by
Okay.
the second
Second meeting, okay.
meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
But-
nothing you presented today looks problematic. I mean.
No, nothing looks problematic.
Good.
So
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
it's, what you're doing is shows a lot of good thought and a lot of consideration. And you're giving also consideration to the way the sign impacts the historic district.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, that's what we want. We don't want something wild and crazy. I love the historic district. I want it to stay that way. So we don't want to do anything that makes it detracts from it. So,
We appreciate that. And we also appreciate the fact that you're following the steps to get the project approved, that it's very helpful because it means that your project goes smoothly and reaches
Oh, okay.
and reaches a good, well, our desire is that the outcome is satisfactory to both the homeowner and the district. That's our goal, is to come to a satisfactory resolution of it.
All right. Well,
Very good, thank you.
yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Old business. The geodesies was one of the pieces of old business. Harold, I still need, did you send your notice to the selectmen? That you
No, I
want?
haven't yet.
Just let me know when you do, so I can follow up with, because if I send mine, they won't know what I'm talking about. So let me know when you
Right.
get to that. Pat
I'll
hasn't-
make a note of it here.
Okay, Pat hasn't hasn't done his application yet either, so you know, that's fine.
Harold, why don't you just keep forgetting every month and then you can stay on the commission?
Well, he's
That's
just
one
going,
way to keep you.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's just going to alternate now. That gives him a little more flexibility.
Right,
And instead of essential, he'll go to, well, still essential, but
It'll always be essential.
yes, always essential, but able to just be busy now and again.
Right.
Is it, I have connected, I have sent an email off to the academy regarding the plantings along the parking lot. And heard back that they no longer own the property or feel they have any responsibility, but would like to find out exactly what years ago was part of the application approval. So I am now going to try and see if I can pull out the minutes that show how we approved.
Who owns the property now then?
Well, it's the church property. But I've got to pursue it further with Chris Sanford to really understand exactly what he means, because it's always been the church property. It's just that the agreement with us, and you probably remember this, Harold, the agreement with us was that they were paving it and they were taking the responsibility for putting in the plantings. So I've got to see if I can locate the application and its approval. And I'm just not sure the date of that, so it'll take me a little while to dig back through everything.
Hey. A lot of background talking on somebody's.
Karen,
site.
is that, Karen?
That's Frank has a meeting in another room. I'll mute myself. That's-
Since this is being recorded, it's probably better that we not also get his background.
Is that better?
No,
I can still hear him.
All right, let me,
I can mute you. There we go. That works. And then unmute yourself when, you know, you want to say something.
or not.
New business.
Nothing from
Can we go
me.
back to old business for a second?
Sure can.
The Rusty Relic, was Pat going to meet with them or?
I haven't heard no report yet.
Okay. All right, new business.
Nothing from me.
I don't have any.
No, all right. Then looking for a motion to adjourn.
I would motion that.
I'll second it.
All right. I'm assuming there's no discussion, so all in favor?
I,
I,
All right,
I'm a regular motion detector.
there you go. Thank you all for a good meeting. Happy spring, everybody.
and we'll see you in May, I guess, or
We will see
April
you
rather, April 27th.